Well, it's good to be with you. We are just here to give you an update on the Russia-Ukrainian project. Many of you participated in this. You prayed for it. You gave for it. You have been praying for it. And it's one of those projects that has been ongoing for a while. We started this project way back when the Russia-Ukraine war began, even before that. But God has just been using this part of the ministry with Keys for Kids Ministries, a partnership with Mission Eurasia. And you heard about this war victims devotional that we were together working with, and it's finally come to fruition. So with me right now, on our link right now, is Esther Parsons. And Esther, you were the one who helped spearhead this whole effort. Could you just talk our friends through the process? How did this kind of begin? What precipitated us needing to have this devotional specifically for kids that are going through this trauma?
Well, I'm so thankful to be with you today. And one of the things that really brought me such joy in this project is I remember as a kid reading Keys for Kids and waiting for it to arrive in the mail. And it helped me, even in my young life, to develop a devotional practice of coming before the Lord and hearing these stories and then looking at the Word. So I was really thankful when Sergei Rahuba, our director, asked me to spearhead this project. My husband and I served in Ukraine for 8 years, many years ago. And when this war started, we were asked by Mission Eurasia to help with the relief in Poland. And so we've touched lives with many Ukrainians who have been through the trauma. And one of the things we're finding is that there's just not a lot of resources available for them right now. Things are not being printed quickly. When you think about a fourth of the country moving, whether it's out of the country or within Ukraine to another area, they've had to leave a lot of things behind. And so to have a resource in their hands that allows them to have it in their own language, be able to get something new. There's true excitement and joy in finding something new in their hands that they can read. And this is such great content for them.
Well, I know that we had submitted some stories to you all, both from the Keys for Kids and the Unlocked devotionals, Keys for Kids and Unlocked for Teens. We sent them to you, and you did a lot of work. Describe that work.
So I read through them. I have studied a little bit of how to help children in trauma because of this war. This has been my my time of just really studying this. And so we took the stories and we also took them to a Ukrainian psychologist and just asked her to look through them and make sure that this fit the context. And there was some really good material that allowed us to filter through, find the things that fit the context for the Ukrainian context, and really to help those that are suffering from such deep trauma.
So obviously there was some back and forth. We had to find a few new stories to match that. And then we shared some covers with you, and you guys did the design work to make sure that obviously that looked Russian and Ukrainian. Describe that.
Yeah, we have a great team in Ukraine. You would be surprised after 4 years of war how much is actually happening in the country. So the editing of the material, the printing of the material is all done in Ukraine. Even though the war is going on, people are continuing to do their work and to move forward. And so it's been a blessing for them too to be involved in this project.
Wow. Now, okay, so we've been kind of watching this from our background. We handed it all to you guys, and you guys have been doing some amazing work. When did it all come to fruition?
So I just got pictures this week that the first printing is completely done. We have 100,000 copies being printed in Ukrainian for Keys for Kids, and another 100,000 have unlocked, and the first pallets have arrived. And so this is perfect timing because this weekend is Orthodox Christmas. Some churches,
Christmas or Easter?
I'm sorry. This weekend is Orthodox Easter. Some churches have decided to celebrate with us last weekend and others this weekend, but this is a perfect time for distribution of this material all over Ukraine.
Let's talk about the importance of having these resources for the work of Mission Eurasia. Obviously, you guys are working there with next generation church leaders. Your School Without Walls, I'm assuming, is still moving forward. However, it has to be, I'm sure, curtailed because of the war situation. How is this helping your ministry?
So, one of the things that Mission Eurasia really feels is important is as we train up young leaders, they need to be able to minister, not just learn the material, but put it into practice. And so, one of the ways we do that is through these kinds of things. When we have a project like this, they are the ones that go out and distribute it. Often they'll have children's programs. They do, during the summer, we do summer camps. So many of these kids that receive these will come to camp, and they will also be taught by our School Without Walls leaders. So this gives a way for these leaders to have practical ministry of handing out literature and sharing the gospel.
Talk about the kids and the teens and families that are obviously still there. Some of these kids have never known a day without war. Some of these kids have been now without dads, uncles, grandparents because they either have been taken in the war or in the war. How do you envision that these resources in Ukrainian and Russian, this new I don't know what you guys are actually calling it. We kind of call it the War Victims Devotional, but how do you envision this being able to help the kids?
Well, I think this has been a tragedy. And for 4 years, I can't believe it's already 4 years. We're into the fifth year of war. And kids are regularly in bomb shelters. They get up the next morning and go to school, and then sometimes school is interrupted by a bomb shelter. Some of them are just online because they're in such a dangerous area they can't go out. And I think to have these kind of resources in their hands is such a blessing because they're not getting a lot of new things. And this material in particular is helping them to grow in their faith and be introduced to Jesus. Many of these children don't know Jesus. And in the back, there's that wonderful presentation of the gospel, and the gospel is put throughout the devotionals. And so these kids will have a chance to read that. And I think it's just really special to have something you can read by yourself or with your mom as you're sitting there and know that somebody is thinking about you as a child and giving you resources that you can be encouraged with.
What are the workers on the ground saying about this resource? Obviously, it's been 4 years. This is a new one that's been printed just for this specific situation. What are they saying about it?
Oh, they're just always so thankful to receive something in the language. And the psychologist that overviewed it was very encouraged to have something that will really minister to the kids' hearts. It's new, and I'm hoping to get more input from the field as it goes out to see how it's impacting children day by day and youth as well.
Well, I've seen some of the pictures, obviously with the kids holding them in their hands. You know, you always get those posed pictures, but have you heard any reaction from them at this point?
I haven't gotten anything quite yet, but because it just is fresh off the presses. So hopefully we'll have something in the next few weeks.
Well, how can we here at Keys for Kids Ministries be praying for Mission Eurasia? I mean, this partnership, I've known Sergey probably since 2000 at least, anyway. So our friendship is deep and long, and our partnership is deep and long as well. How can we be praying for you guys?
We are on the front lines, really. Many of you may know that we work in Israel as well, and that nation is at war. We work in Ukraine, and that nation is at war. And so we would ask that the Lord would give a just peace in Ukraine. That is one of the big things we're praying for. But even more so, the Lord is using this time to spread the gospel. Many people are coming to Christ. So pray that we would be faithful. Pray for our young leaders who are out there handing out the materials for their safety. It's a dangerous time to be going out and doing things, but they are faithfully doing that. So pray for their safety and pray for great fruit. As many churches have been emptied of members. They have been filled with new people who need to hear the truth that didn't know Christ before. And so pray that there would be just harvest during this time as well, and that our young leaders would faithfully lead despite the tragedies and difficulties around them.
Wonderful. Now, are there any specific cities that will be receiving these here in the days and weeks ahead?
Well, our building initially was destroyed, but Mission Eurasia has moved into 12 different areas of Ukraine. Our Choriston team, which does a lot in the printing and distribution, just this week there was bombing in their town that was unexpected and kind of new. But we have people on the front lines in Zaporozhye and Kherson, and we have people that go right up to the front lines, and they give out literature. In Zaporozhye, there's Russian soldiers right across the river, but people are still there, Christians that are distributing materials and humanitarian aid and food and different things, and they will be getting these resources into the hands of many children there too.
Wonderful. Well, I'm talking with Esther Parsons, of course, with Mission Eurasia, the one who spearheaded the effort to translate the Keys for Kids and unlocked war victims' devotionals. We're so thankful for the partnership, Esther, and your hard work in this and getting many officials involved, those that are dealing with counseling and trauma with these young people. Thank you so much for doing this. And really, on behalf of all of our listeners and donors and people that have been praying for this ministry, I just want to thank you guys. And we'll be praying that the Lord leads you, opens amazing doors, but more importantly, that kids, teens, and families won't only come to saving faith in Jesus, but that they'll begin growing in their faith, and that churches will begin growing and prospering and seeing just a healthy church grow out of this. We're very encouraged, and we can't wait to hear the stories.
Thank you. Well, I just want to say a special thank you to everyone who gave toward this project. We really treasure your partnership. We are so thankful for the long partnership we've had with Keys for Kids. I remember handing out Keys for Kids things a number of years back to Ukrainian children, and I'm just so thankful for this partnership, and we really appreciate every person who gave. Thank you so much.